I want to live in an America where children have enough food to eat. I want to live in an America where people don't have to work 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And I want to live in an America that includes women in its Constitution and passes the Equal Rights Amendment to ensure that women have equal protections under the law. And you know what? With Biden, we can.
Attention, stand by. We've got 7.
Okay, straighten up. People look alive. This is a race against time.
Okay, people, listen up. Let's get our lights up. Where are my bubbles? Bubbles!
And we're live in 3, 2, 1.
Be headed for the serious strife. Now you make the scene all day, but tomorrow they'll be held to pay. The afterlife could be headed for the serious strife. Now you make the scene all day, but tomorrow they'll be held to pay. The people listen attentively. I mean about future calamity. I used to think the idea was obsolete until I heard the old man stamping his feet. Where eternally fire is applied to the body. Teeth are extruded and bones are ground and baked into cakes which are passed around. In the afterlife, you could be headed for the serious strife. Now you make the scene all day, but tomorrow they'll be held to pay. Revealed on the other side. In the afterlife, you could be headed for the serious strife. Now you make the scene all day, but tomorrow they'll be held to pay.
Good morning, folks. I know this is really kind of out of the blue, a bit random. But I just wanted to get I wanted to say some things, and I don't want to do this on the gaming channel because I think I want to use the gaming channel mainly for gaming. And maybe a little bit of sort of cultural discussion. But yesterday was kind of a crazy day for some people, and I've mainly tried to stay away from it, but I do think that there is something significant happening. So I just want to say, first off, hello to you guys that are watching. I know it's not a lot of people, but I appreciate, you guys for showing up. Ben Sweets Sweetser and Asclepius. Thank you. And maybe some other people will see this later. I didn't make an official announcement. This is very last minute. And frankly, I mean, you know, if nobody sees it, nobody sees it. I'm not going to make obviously not going to make a big thing out of it. But, and let me shrink my dog cam a little bit. Jojo is right here behind me sleeping. Okay. So I guess I should probably give you guys a little bit of what's on my mind. So I learned, I think it was yesterday or the day before, you might have heard of Destiny. He's like a Twitch streamer, and he got sort of like dragged into, or he became a political commentator. So this is my Twitter account, Honey Badger Arcade. It's at Badger Arcade if you want to follow me. It's where I send my game streams go here, and also here on my Twitch page. If you guys want to follow it, it's also at Badger Arcade or Honey Badger Arcade on Twitch, as you can see. I'm also on Rumble. Same thing. So give me a follow on any of those places, and I appreciate it. But Twitter, or X as we're calling it now. So there's this guy named Destiny, and Destiny does, like I said, he was a Twitch streamer. He does commentary. You may have heard of him, but I want to assume everyone knows. But you know, he's been on Jesse Lee Peterson. He's been on Jubilee debates. He's been on the Whatever podcast. He's been on Fresh and Fit. He's debated Nick Fuentes. He's been everywhere. And he's a progressive, even though he claims to call out the left. Doesn't really matter because he is a leftist. He has been a big proponent of polyamorous relationships or open marriages. He believes strongly that, you know, as long as it's between adults that are consenting and they all know the terms, that it's totally okay. And I used to be that way. I used to think that it's all right as long as it's adults. And I'm not saying that it's not all right, but I will say that it's not for me. But I do think that it's worth mentioning, and I felt this way for a long time, that it will not be the case for the overwhelming majority of people. Like it's just not. And I think if you normalize things like open marriages and polyamory, you're going to get more suffering and pain and loss and anger and, you know, even violence. Because you normalize it, you basically expect everyone to be okay with it, you push it. So it starts off as something as we can just tolerate. But it inevitably moves to something that we have to celebrate. And if you've been paying attention, this has been the pattern of things for a long time. You know, it's like you have to tolerate this thing, and people are like, okay, I'll tolerate it. Then you have to promote this thing. You have to celebrate this thing. Now you have to pedestalize this thing. And it just keeps sliding towards that. So anyway, so Destiny was in an open relationship with a woman. And this is him here. And this woman's from Sweden. I don't remember her name. Melina. And Melina wanted an open relationship. And Destiny claims that he also wanted an open relationship. And I think that it was probably not something he really wanted. This is one of these things that I see that it's like people want to come across as like tolerant and open-minded. So they'll agree to things that they don't really want to agree to. And I think that's what he did. I think that personally, my belief is that Melina wanted to be able to like play the field and like sleep with whatever dude she wanted. She wanted to do it without any judgment, without any consequences. And Destiny agreed because he wanted to be a good male feminist. And this is a male feminist, right? This is what simping does. And what ended up happening? He married her, did not get a prenup. Okay, let me play a clip. Let me play a clip for you guys so you guys see where I'm coming from. So first, here is him at the Whatever podcast. And he's talking about the fact that he married this woman without a prenup and that he, feels confident in it. So let me play this clip.
God forbid this happens. Will it be fun if this open relationship ends up causing things to fall apart down the line if one of you guys finds yourself in an entanglement, so to speak, with somebody who you might find a deeper connection with than the other person? Like if that causes the relationship to fall apart, that probably wouldn't be very fun.
No, it would be horrible and it would be sad.
Do you guys have a high degree of confidence that your marriage will last for decades?
I mean, I married her without a prenup, so I fucking hope so. Okay, or else this motherfucker's gonna be.
My wife fucks other guys.
All right, I don't know if you guys were able to hear that. Asclepia says he was so open-minded his brain fell out of his head. Again, like, this is tragic. I'm not happy about it. I'm not celebrating it. I mean, I warn of this stuff. I think it's bad to do this. And unfortunately, here's another video. This is the man that she is, well, I would say cheating, but it's an open marriage. But this is one of the other men that she was sleeping with. Here's a video clip from iHypocrite. And is that even like a dude? Like what is that? We can hear fine. Okay, good. I wanted to make sure. So, here is, Destiny's wife. This is from San Francisco. Destiny's wife, and I use that term loosely, wasn't only living and sleeping with another guy. She was regularly streaming videos of herself hanging out with him in obviously intimate settings for the world to see. How could any man see this as anything other than devastatingly humiliating? And let me play some more of this. Like, I'll play it with the audio so you guys can hear it, okay?
See, I can squat, and I'm like even injured right now.
You gotta go further down. No, you gotta go further.
I'm even jumping. Look, it's easy. See, guys.
That was wrong.
Gym stream.
Oh yeah.
And I'm doing that in a suit and in like 2 square centimeters.
True. Oh, this is so good.
Poor seat now, right?
Huh?
Poor seat now, right? That was purely.
No woman is hot enough. I don't care what you say. Like, no woman is worth this. And this is the thing that bugs me, okay? Stop simping, guys. Like, I know people will say Destiny is like a special case, but I actually don't think he is. I think that a lot of men, they have so little regard for their worth that they would be willing to be in a woman's orbit rather than potentially like establish boundaries, which he did not do. I mean, he thought of boundaries as oppressive to women. So a lot of people are experiencing schadenfreude because of what happened to Destiny. And I understand it. I understand it because he's, kind of a not a nice guy to people who are more conservative. And that means basically anybody that's not him or further left than him. And I think that, he has a tendency to come across as smug and arrogant and a bit of a bully. And I get all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, though, he is the one that's going to be living with this pain. And I know it's going to suck. And what I worry about is that, you know, he was on Twitter the other day asking about like SSRIs, like he was looking for help. So he's like got, you know, struggling with mental health issues. And then the thing is too, is that I think this is normal. I think a lot of Zoomers, millennials, alpha, like generation alpha men and boys are struggling with this stuff because of all of the damage. And there's a lot. I won't even say it's only feminism, but it's a big part of it. It's this kind of Luciferian, anti-human, anti-male, anti-God stuff coming out of leftism. And it's been going on for generations. And it is essentially conditioning men to hate themselves. And to, in turn, you know, use their privilege that they supposedly have to serve women. And I think it's destroying men. It's destroying boys. And if Destiny, like, and the thing is too, is that it creates dysfunctional men. And if those dysfunctional men then go on to harm other people, then the harm that they cause is then used to further reinforce more things in our culture, more things in our law and policy that will further dysfunction men. It's like they want that. They want a cycle of men, you know, that hate themselves, that are depressed, that are eliminating their boundaries, that allow themselves to be, you know, preyed on by women, by the government, by you know, everything around them, their peers, etc., because they want to be loved, and we just don't love them, you know. And so what if Destiny hurts himself? What if and I'm not saying that we have to care about him specifically. I'm using it as an example. Like, if there is harm that men do because we have hurt them and we have not called out women for their part to play. Because clearly Milana, or whatever her name is, she wanted to be a slut. She wanted to fuck dudes. She wanted to be, and more than that, she wanted to do it without any judgment. She wanted people to love her unconditionally. She wanted people to accept all of her life choices. Ovid says, hey Doge, quick fact check. Vyvanse is an ADHD medication, not an SRL. Still can be used to refocus away from pain. Okay, well, thanks, Ovid. I'm not presuming to be you know, a psychiatrist, but I will say that I do think that medications in general are a bad sign. I think that the fact that we medicate ourselves, that's a whole other story, I suppose, but thank you for the clarification. I think that what I'm saying is I think Destiny's in a lot of trouble. And I think that no matter what comes out of it, men will be blamed. And that's the and I'll give you another example, because I don't want to spend too much time on this because I got other things to do today, and I do want to do some game streaming later. But have you guys heard of Hunter Avallone? So I'm gonna get to the Hunter Avallone thing in a second, but it's related. So one year, my wife and I went to Mythicist, Milwaukee, which is sort of like a, I don't know, it's a debates, free speech type of event where a bunch of people from the internet and wherever, they come together, they talk about issues. I think that Lindsay and I went in 2018, I think. 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. And it was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And there, you know, there are some people we've met before that we got to spend time with. Blair White, Tim Pool was there, Karen was there. That's why I went, because Karen was there. She was speaking on you know, feminism, and a lot of other people. Carl was there, you know, and so like I met Hunter Avallone, who was there. Now at the time, Hunter Avallone was making content that was more right wing. He was like a right wing commentator. And I watched his videos. He kind of struck me as like a slightly less funny Chris Ray Gun, you know. Excuse me. I have a bit of a cough. But he seemed like a nice enough guy. And I met him, shook his hand, we chatted a little bit. He wanted to be able to speak on the stage, but for whatever reason he felt like, I don't know, a bit miffed at the fact that he said, "Oh, why are there no conservatives up there?" You know, this is what he was asking me. And I was like, "Well, I'm not really sure that's true, but I don't know." You know, and I was like, "Well, you know, if you wanted a platform, you could have, I mean, I don't know, maybe they could have worked something out. I don't run Mythicist Milwaukee. I don't know. It was MythCon or Mythicist Milwaukee." And he was like, I don't know, he just seemed all right. And I told him, you know, I asked him if we could do an interview, and he said, sure. And I said, he asked me who I was with, and I told him I was with Honey Badger Radio, and he was like, who is that? Of course, because most people say that. And I said, well, we're, you know, men's issues advocates, men's rights activists, as some people call us. And he said, oh, I like you guys. So he was totally like okay with it, right? He liked us at the time. You know, he's like, oh yeah, men's rights guys, I like that. But then, like, somewhere after that, I don't know exactly when it happened, but Hunter Avallone went, like, he actually, from what I remember, he was engaged to a woman because he got her pregnant, and it turned out she was going to have a child. And I remember him making a video about it, saying that because his girlfriend got pregnant, he decided to do the right thing and proposed to her, and he got engaged to her, and he even made like a pro-life argument. So it seemed like he was all on board with that stuff. But something happened. Now, I stopped following him, so I don't really know exactly the details, and I apologize for not having the whole story, but something ended up happening where he basically like started talking to Vosh, and I remember this too. He did a debate with Vosh once. Got kind of creamed, and I think the reason is because Hunter he's like one of these people, he was like one of these people that knew the talking points but didn't understand them. You know, it's like there are people who take a side and they don't really understand the side that they've taken in a particular issue. Maybe they just take it because it's popular. Maybe because they take it because it's expedient in some way. And I think that was the case. I think that he was a conservative commentator, but not because he actually held conservative values, but rather I don't know. I couldn't really tell you for sure. But anyway, he spoke to Vosh, and then I saw him talking to Vosh, and at the time, this was when Vosh was still pretty new, at least like in terms of, you know, what I was seeing. I was immediately troubled by Vosh. I was like, this guy is evil. Like, that was my thought from the start. I was like, this guy is evil. He is manipulating language. He is not looking at the consequence. He's a full-on communist. Like, this is a scary dude, okay? In terms of his ideas, like, I don't know that he's dangerous, but he's definitely scary in terms of his ideas. I got this like Russian Deadpool, if you guys remember him. He like murdered his girlfriend, or he was in a polyamorous relationship and he murdered a woman that was one of his girls. And so, you know, that was like hitting me that, and fitting that Vosh started in Destiny's community. Yes. So it's all kind of connected, right? So Vosh had a conversation with Hunter Avallone, and I saw it and I was troubled. And I have Hunter's phone number on my phone, okay? And I called Hunter Avallone at the time. I called him up. And I was like, I saw that you spoke to Vosh. And I said I would be very wary of that guy because he is a very manipulative, you know, Machiavellian type person. You know, he's really dangerous in terms of you know, his beliefs and values and his language. Yeah. And And Hunter was a bit, he was dismissive. He's like, oh, you know, he's just a troll. I'm not worried about it. Like, you know, don't worry about it, man. And I was like, okay. And then I hung up, you know, we ended the call, and I just kind of like shrugged and said, well, I hope that nothing bad happens, you know, from that. And then Hunter immediately, he starts making this anti, like, right-wing kind of lefty content, and it only moves further. And I mean, like, I haven't watched his videos, but like from what I've seen, you know, he starts off and he's just kind of like, oh, the right has a victimhood complex, and I don't like that they do that because I don't like victimhood and leftism either, and so I'm calling it out, you know, on both sides. But then over time, he's like, you know, essentially he's part of the radical, like, gender theory cult, where he's like talking about, you know, there's no such thing as a man or a woman. It is if you identify that way. He was one of the people who dogpiled Anna Kasparian because she didn't want to be referred to as a birthing person. Like, he went full on, like, commie. He went full commie. And I was like, all right. And then I wondered, I never looked into it because I don't really follow people. I'm not really big into following drama. And even now, I feel a little weird about it, but I have a point to it, and it is about men at the end of the day. But I never found out, like, did he ever marry that girl? Did she ever give birth to that child? Because his views changed, like, a lot, okay? Let me see your comments. Michael Keller says, wait, what? Brian's channel online, 2:40 p.m.? Yeah, this is just like hi, Michael Keller. Just something I wanted to get off my chest, and I thought I would do it on a live stream. Slim Jim Pooey says, I saw Vosh and thought, to quote Christopher Walken, this guy is unfucking believable. Ascleptopus, Hunter lied about right-wingers getting censored and banned more on social media. I know. About not getting censored, yeah. Hello, Peter Bocon. Anyway, so I wondered, and I still do, I want to know, like, what happened with his fiance. Did he ever marry her? Did he ever have that child? I don't know. I think that so here's what happened with Hunter, and this is interesting because we're seeing it happened almost at the same time. So let me go back to Destiny for a moment. So Destiny is now getting a divorce from his wife. Let me see if I can find the source of this information. Yeah, it's right here. Let me open this in a new tab so we can look at it. So it says, shit. Oh, I can zoom in. All right, DGG. I don't know what this is, but this is a conversation. Destiny, I'll have a small convo when I'm back about things. I'm not going to nuke Melina or anything, but the last 2 months and 2 weeks have been a massive mindfuck for me, watching her become obsessed with a toxic, abusive guy. When I visited Sweden last, he gave Mel an ultimatum to divorce me and then threatened to kill himself when she didn't do it, among 20 other abusive/manipulative things he's done, and endlessly make excuses for him, so I'm out. Anyway, have fun with movies for 3 days. Good luck. See ya on the 9th or 10th. Okay. Then there's more. I guess this is just like a bot that replays conversations, okay? Bosch, yeah, me discovering boundaries was the death knell in this relationship. Destiny, Sleepy Runt, why? This proves every point I've ever made. Girls can leave you for jobless, manipulative losers if they just play their cards right. Yeah, I wanted a massive therapy session to see if I could express myself better and iron out some boundaries, but it's hard for me to ask for anything if I've been a pushover for so many years. So, you notice that Destiny is blaming this dude, this toxic man, okay, for what he is going through. At no point does he say, like, you know, Milana doesn't respect me. I mean, that's what it means when a woman says, I want to be in a relationship, but I want it to be an open marriage because I want to fuck other dudes. She doesn't respect you. She's not attracted to you. She probably can't be attracted to men in general. Maybe there's something wrong with her. I'm not even blaming Destiny for this. I mean, he is obviously an adult and he made, you know, choices and they were bad because he basically ruined his relationship. But it's not only on him, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, you know? So that's Destiny. This guy could have been in a healthy relationship, and he probably makes, you know, good money doing what he does. He could start a family, could have a woman, and a good one, right? But he doesn't want to see the world for what it is. And he wants to put the onus on men, like toxic men, toxic loser dudes, as he calls it, instead of the women who choose those guys. Like, what she doesn't, she chooses these people. And now we got Hunter. Now, this was 16 hours ago. This video went up. Destiny has a son who he's abandoned. See? I wonder if that's the kid he's talking about. And so, like, Destiny has a son who he's abandoned. So now when we talk about deadbeat dads, we're going to talk about all men and not these kinds of men. I mean, deadbeat dads exist, sure. But how many of them are male feminists? Or at least would claim to be. So Hunter Avallone put out this video. And he says, warning graphic, I'm still trying to process this, and I'm most likely in shock as I write this. But only a few hours ago, Holly, which is the girl that he's dating, I guess, Holly's ex-boyfriend, Conrad, show up at my apartment building with a shotgun. He shot through my building door, injuring Holly's leg in the process. I recorded the final moments in which we were hiding on the back porch. You can hear him shoot at police before ultimately taking his own life. In my own fucking apartment hallway. Still trying to process this. Holly and I are physically okay, but mentally this is going to do some serious damage. Holly has been amazing, and she's been incredibly brave and strong throughout this ordeal. So, I'll play the video. It doesn't really show. You see some blood, so I'm just giving you a warning about this. I don't know if this is going to, like, get my channel killed. I hope it doesn't, but I think you should see this anyway, so I'm going to play this bit.
Are you recording? Conrad has shot Holly in the leg. Excuse me? We don't know. All I know is I got a call from my landlord that said he was trying to get into the building. The suspect, sorry. The suspect was trying to get into the building, and then there was something shady about it. We didn't know.
Yeah, he had a gun under his coat.
And he had a gun under his coat when he came out, and then when we walked up...
Oh, fuck!
He's at the door. He's at the door.
Please come in, please come in.
Please hurry, please. Okay, he's pounding really hard at the door. I hear shouting. I think I hear them.
So, angry ex-boyfriend, according to him. If I go to the thread, I think, yeah, in case anyone thinks it's fake, and here's Holly, who is the woman in the video, who is the girlfriend to Hunter, says, domestic violence warning, I am in the hospital. Conrad showed up to Hunter's house with a shotgun and shot me in the leg. We are safe now, and Hunter is thankfully unharmed. Conrad was shot dead, really struggling right now. What the F just happened? And she doesn't want to talk about this. She says, I'm going through a lot right now. I haven't been saying anything, but I feel like I need to in order to heal. Conrad and I are splitting up after 11 years. So this was like what led to this, okay? After 11 years, I hid a lot of abuse throughout that time and made excuses for him, but I feel strong enough now to break free from the cycle. I love all of you, and am excited to continue the stream in a place where I feel safe and comfy. So, of course, I'm not going to go through the comments. Most of them are like, oh, how could people blame you for this and all of this? But like, all right. So this, I think, I could be wrong. Maybe you guys know. I think that this woman, Holly, that Hunter was with, is not the woman that he was originally engaged to, but a different woman. And I think that this woman thought she could just dump this other guy. Maybe they also had like a yeah, here we go. Here's a bit of a this is so she was with this other guy and for whatever reason didn't break it off, like, you know, in a healthy way or whatever, I don't know. And this guy snapped basically. And this is the guy who, Conrad, the guy who was shooting at them with the gun and who got killed. I guess he basically committed suicide by police. And he was coming for Hunter Avallone. And he was tracking them and everything. Okay. Now, you see, like, people like Lauren Southern are saying this is terrifying, etc. There's the actual justice warrior. Are you guys okay? Not so erudite says, I'm so sorry to hear this, and obviously there's little I can do. But if I can help you guys in any way, don't hesitate to ask. I'm so glad you guys are not more harmed. So what's going to be the takeaway? Chris Raygun, holy shit, dude, I'm so sorry. Glad you're okay. Hunter did everything right. I told him to run while I stood in between him and the shooter. He tried to get me to run too, but I didn't. Logical consequences of open relationships. So this is kind of what I was thinking. I don't know if it's true, but I think Holly here, just like Destiny's girlfriend, was trying to have her cake and eat it too. She was trying to do an open relationship, and for whatever reason, this Conrad guy and this Hunter guy initially agreed, but after a while, it started eating away at them. And so I think, and I'm going to emphasize that I think this is true, that this guy couldn't handle it. And I think that it comes down to the fact that men, this is my post, it was sort of general, they're not able to have boundaries, and they have to. So I said, based on what I've seen around me just today, I didn't mention any names, all I will say is that men, know your worth, establish your boundaries. Don't put yourself in situations where someone could get hurt, especially if that someone is you. And that applies to Conrad and Hunter, because, like, if I was involved, one time I remember when I was really young, I was like in my 20s, and I was involved with a girl, and she had a boyfriend and didn't tell me. And she told her boyfriend that she wanted to be in an open relationship, and so she was dating me. But she didn't tell me that she was in an open relationship with another guy. And when I found out about it, what I did was I spoke to the guy. I went to him and I said, hey, we got to talk. And I told him everything. I said, this is what she told me. This is what's been going on. I think you have to know. If you didn't know this, you should know. And he's like, no, I didn't know this. And I was like, yeah. So I want you to know I'm not doing this to you. She is using us. And she was with a third guy while I was talking to that guy. And fortunately, that guy didn't have any hard feelings towards me over it. But I think if I would have stayed in that situation, it would have gotten worse. And I think that's where it always goes. But it comes from, where does it come from? Men are not allowed to have a sense of self. They're not allowed to value their own life. Like, not when it comes to women. And Holly is not going to she's not going to get criticized at all. There's not going to be any introspection. No, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be getting involved with multiple dudes at once. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this shit. Maybe you shouldn't be like, because at some point, one of these men is going to want like you more than the other, or they're going to think that you should be giving them more of your time. Some people will try to convince me that open relationships are like plausible. And I think that in very, very, very rare instances, that might be the case. But I don't think it is something that should be in any way normalized. And when these men snap and do this shit, like this could happen in both directions, okay? You can have a situation where you have like a guy, right? And he's got like multiple women. And those women inevitably, like maybe one of them snaps and like, harms the other woman. What the thing is that when that happens, the men get blamed for doing that. The men get blamed, right? The pimps get blamed or whatever. The these guys that have multiple women. If the women fight each other, we look at the man with disdain. But when this happens, we still look at the men with disdain. Nobody's gonna say, well, maybe you shouldn't be involved in it. And it's not just like the feminist types, the leftists that do that. It's the conservatives that do that too. They'll be like, well, men shouldn't allow this to happen. It's like, well, yeah, but what about the fucking women? The women shouldn't be doing this either. Like, they shouldn't be promoting this crap. So Conrad is dead. And I mean, like, he was obviously not well anyway, but he's dead now over a woman. And Hunter is probably going to blame him. He's not going to say, there's something about the way women make sexual selections that probably needs to be refined. No, they never hold women accountable in any way. And if I were to go in there, and that's why I didn't post on any of those threads, because I know that if I did, people would be like, why are you like, what do they call it? Ambulance chasing? I don't want to, but I don't want this to happen again. If we don't want this to happen again, we have to like say something. We have to say something about the people that we're not saying anything about. I mean, let me look at your comments. Michael Keller says, who's Destiny again? He's a Twitch streamer, but like more than that, he became like a political commentator, darling of the left, because, he was good at going to IamRight.com and pulling up sources. Slim Jim Pui says, the proclivity for men to simp and not hold women accountable for their actions is innate and universal. Yes, but I think it can be refined. I think it can. I think there is a way. I think that men need to follow something else, not women, though. That's the problem. See, this is why I put God in the title of this stream. And I know that you guys are not, you're probably mostly like atheists, but hear me out. I think that when we remove something transcendent from our from our actions on earth in this life, it makes it men and women will make idols of other things. They just do that. It's what we do. So men idolize women. Simps are a product of secularism. If men were to put, and I'm not saying that, I'm not necessarily directing people to something specific like you need to become a Christian or anything like that, but they have to serve something greater than themselves, because they're going to serve women, or they're going to serve like, something material that is fleeting and purposeless. And women will use that, so they have to serve something higher. I think it's why a lot of people like Jesse Lee Peterson will say, there's a natural order is God and Christ, Christ over man, man over women, women over children. It means that men serve Christ, and when they're serving Christ, they're not serving women. So I'm not saying that you have to serve Christ, because I know some people get triggered by that, but they should be serving something that's not women. Like, and maybe it is, like, I don't know, something higher that then they will use to further sort of like, perpetuate a meaningful existence, through their children, because that's what I think most men want. I mean, I told Paul Elam the other day, it was a while ago, but when I spoke to him, I said, we had lunch together, and I said, all MRAs were trad before they found out. And he said that's absolutely true. And what I mean is, all people who become aware of men's issues do so through experience. They're not born in the world thinking about that. They're like, they're kids and they have these dreams. Like, I want to get this job. I want to find a girl. We're going to fall in love. We're going to get married. We're going to start a family. This is what almost all men want that. Almost all of them. When they start in the world. And then they come across some obstacle and they're like, holy shit, nothing is what I thought it was. Something is wrong. This doesn't work. Right? And so they want to change it. But, and Paul agreed with me on that. And I think that he understands what I mean when I say if men are not serving something transcendent, they are serving women. Because they will make idols of women. And women will make idols of themselves, or they will make idols of stuff, which basically ultimately serves themselves. That's why we live in this sick, sick culture. Where people will kill each other for women. And I know that that's kind of like, it's basically like if you take out the transcendent, if you take that out, we become more like animals. That's why we're like willing to kill each other. Slim Jim Pui says it's hardwired in the left wind and the right wing and is ultimately inescapable. Not So Erudite would be a decent fireside chat guest. She talked to Real Femme Sapien very fruitfully. Real Femme Sapien. Okay. Slim Jim Pui says Michael Cisco has the right of it with his comment, why she's calmer than you. Yeah. Right. Well, because she's not, first of all, she might have experienced before, Amasang says new name. Yeah, Lindsay and I want to start a channel called He Said, She Said. There'll be some live streams like this, but there'll be like other sort of pre-recorded stuff. Aslepipus says, I am Eastern Orthodox, so I get you, Doge. Thank you. I know a lot of people think that like Christianity is like feminine, but I don't think it is. I think Protestantism is feminine though. Michael Keller says, man, JoJo sleeping so peacefully, there is inducing sleep into me. Yeah, JoJo's a comfy pupper. So like, don't simp, guys. Like, seriously, I don't know what else to say. Like, this is like the way you weaponize men's desire to like serve, right? That's another thing. Like, men will serve the state, they will serve whatever. Just a reminder, how much power do women have in society? I think I mentioned this on yesterday's show with Tealier. Kim Jong-un, the totalitarian communist dictator from North Korea, put out a tearful speech where he was essentially begging North Korean women to have babies because their replacement rates are in the toilet. And he's like, even the commie dictator, he has to kneel before women to get them to make babies. He could do it at gunpoint, but he's not doing that because even he is subject to this gynocentric nature. Slim Jim Pui says a higher calling, whether religion or not, can and will be subverted back into serving simpery. The human condition makes us susceptible to this regression toward the mean, possibly, but I think that it has to start with women. I'm asking men not to simp, and I don't think you guys would simp. I mean, press S in the chat if you're a simp, but if you're not, then say no simp, NS. But anyway, but yes, I think it has to come from women, and only other women can start that process. Look at this from Allison. This is from a study. Men who have negative views of masculinity have poor mental health outcomes. This should be obvious, but I suspect the usual suspects won't stop hating on masculinity and blaming it for the mental health problems in men they are, in fact, creating. So if men have a low view of their own masculine identity, they're going to have poor mental health outcomes. I mean, this is what's happening. You know, this is what's happening. But anyway, I don't want to drag this out for too long. I just wanted to tell you about what's going on, what happened with Destiny and Hunter again. Destiny got married to this woman, got her a green card, brought her to the United States from Sweden. And now she's getting a divorce, or he's getting a divorce because she wanted an open marriage. He said okay, and he's not okay. She's been just fucking other dudes. I'll play this clip again so you remember that. Michael Keller says, Brian, false attempt. Donate $50 to the channel to show you're a simp. Simping is king shit. Remember that? All right, let me play this clip.
God forbid this happens. Will it be fun if this open relationship ends up causing things to fall apart down the line if one of you guys finds yourself in an entanglement, so to speak, with with somebody who you might find a deeper connection with than the other person? Like if that causes the relationship to fall apart, that probably wouldn't be very fun.
No, it would be horrible, and it would be sad.
Do you guys have a high degree of confidence that your marriage will last for decades?
I mean, I married her without a prenup, so I hope so. Okay, or else this motherfucker's gonna be...
My wife fucks other guys.
God forbid this happens. Will it...
Of course, that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. Yeah, I know. Here's Destiny and the same woman with a different dude, okay? And he's watching. It's pathetic. It's fucking pathetic.
Bigger men fuck my wife friend.
That male vulnerability is beautiful, Destiny. Yeah. We need to encourage men to undo their toxic masculinity.
No, I'm good. If I can hate women so much.
And, you know, it's on the one hand, you could laugh at this stuff, but then go to the Hunter thing. Like, what, again, sometimes it's just pathetic. Sometimes people get hurt. Sometimes people get killed. And at the end of the day, no matter how bad things turn out, the takeaway is going to be something men are to blame. And so it continues. But anyway, I'm going to end it there. Let me know what you guys think about what we talked about. I don't know if I like the way that this layout is right now. I might change it. I don't know. But right now I'm going to go into Discord and we're going to watch some JoJo, and then I'm going to stream some Baldur's Gate 3 after that. So if you want to check me out on and playing Baldur's Gate 3, we can talk more about this stuff there. Go to the gaming channel. It's Honey Badger Arcade, where I will be playing Baldur's Gate 3 with the Honey Badgers, and I hope I will see you guys there. Brian, totally OTQ at the end. Will you continue, or have you the bombshell cartoon? OTQ? I don't get that. Bombshell cartoon. I will do more of these. Mostly, I think I'm going to do some videos. I've been talking to Peter Wright, and he's got some stuff for me to do, and I got some other things that I want to do. All off-topic question. Okay, continue, or have you the bombshell cartoon? Bombshell's on the back burner right now, but I am working on a children's book that I'm not ready to show anything of, but I think it will be pretty cool. It's about men's issues, and it has I'm doing it in kind of like a animated, Disney style, kind of like a little, Disney Don Bluth kind of a thing. So Amma Sang says someone set us up the bomb. Anyway, so yeah, be on the lookout for that. But follow me over on Honey Badger Arcade. I will get you guys the link if you can't find it. I'll put it in the description of this video. But yeah, we'll see you guys there. So I'm gonna wrap it up. If you guys like this video, please, children's book, please don't go full Habeck, German minister of economy, child book author, Green Party, and lots of penicillin growing inside of his head. No, it's gonna be well, you'll see. I don't want to say anything right now. Still working on the illustrations. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Please give me a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. I'm gonna put more stuff on He Said, She Said. Lindsay and I are working on things together, but also hang out with me on the gaming channel. That's Badger Arcade. Thanks, guys, for coming on the show. Leave me a comment. I'll talk to you all in the next one.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have like a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.